Hello and welcome to the eCom Ops podcast. Today I'm talking to David Kaufmann from SEOCrawl, a really, let's say, old entrepreneur. He started with the age of 15. Now he's 28 years old. And yeah, he has a great SEO tool and SEO agency. He's a professional there. But David, please introduce yourself.
Perfect. Yeah, no, pleasure to meet you and so happy to be here. I'm David Kaufmann. I'm 28 years old. I live in Spain and I've always lived here, like 100 kilometers from Barcelona. I started really young as an entrepreneur and I have always loved like the startup world. So really happy to be here with you.
Awesome. Thanks. It's great to have you. And I've heard you recently got a daddy.
Yeah. Like nearly 2 months old now, and so happy with her.
Congratulations. That's really cool. And it's a bit different now to have the company and the baby. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought like running 2 companies was hard at the same time, but running 2 companies with a baby is a bit trickier.
Yeah, I assume. Or I know actually, because I also have 2 kids, so I know there's a lot of things changing. But tell me a bit more about your business. How did you start the business, and why actually did you found an SEO agency?
Yeah, actually, it's like a long story, so I will try to make like a super short summary, not to bore you and the audience. So basically, I love playing chess since I was 6 years old. So when I was 15, I went to tournaments, I wrote blogs, photos, and games, and people was interested. So I started getting my first sponsors and doing like the first business things. And then that evolved into Chess Live, like a much like serious company devoted to online chess. That got like 100K clients all around the world, and it was acquired by a German company. I was there like living a few months, and finally I stopped and ended in chess.com. That was like the best experience I had in all my life as a company and as a global SEO and ASO manager. We grew the traffic from 1 million per month to over 30 million. So it was like super incredible. And then I stopped like as a full-time employee there and co-founded an SEO agency with my wife, which is SEO Alive. So we started like 4 years ago. And suddenly we realized that we wanted to be like more efficient, do things better, and we started building an internal tool just to manage our clients, to get better reporting, better tagging. And then we realized that, wow, if we have this, we could literally allow all the other companies and professionals to use it. And then SEOCrawl was founded, and it's been nearly 3 years, and it's been a crazy wild ride. Right now, over 20K websites and 10K SEO professionals and companies rely on us, and we are improving every day. So, yeah, it has been intense.
That's cool. Yeah, it's a typical story from the agency to a tool. Yeah, that we hear very often, where agency founders actually discover a market need for themselves and build a tool out of it. So this is really one of the most typical stories, and congratulations to so many websites that you support. Do you also support e-commerce clients?
Actually, that's one of our most important and typical customer. And basically, I think it's where the highest potential of SEOCrawl is unlocked. So basically, when you run an e-commerce, the first question you need to ask, or one of the questions that is more asked, is about differentiating all the traffic you get. One thing is like, okay, social, SEO, paid channels, etc. But when it comes to like all the organic traffic, there are so many different ways to analyze it. So how much brand traffic I have, how much non-brand traffic, which are my really core business keywords that are driving revenue to me. So thanks to SEOCrawl, we can automate that in 1 minute. So it's like, okay, everything that contains David Kaufmann, it's like a brand tag. Everything that contains SEO consultant or software, it's like my core business keyword. And then automatically all the dashboards are built, and I get like real-time alerts in my email, in Slack, in the dashboard. So all the data that we have went from building 8-hour dashboard in Data Studio or similar to suddenly being able to analyze everything in seconds. So that has literally transformed the way like most of companies work and analyze their data.
That's cool. And do you also support companies outside Spain, or is it just a Spain-based business?
Actually, it's completely global. We support all languages from Spanish, Chinese, Arabic, so it's like completely global. and there is no limitation. I mean, all languages in the world are supported. And right now we are making a huge effort from partners all around the world to translate the UI also in their language. So for example, right now we got over 20 languages like Danish, German, Brazilian, Portuguese. I mean, there are many, many languages. So as they have like an immersive experience and not just seeing like their data in their language, but also the UI.
And how can e-commerce store owners actually really use the software or participate on the insights they get from the software? What can they improve?
I would say there are like 3-4 things. So the first one is data analysis. So we connect Google Search Console data, we connect Google Analytics data, and we have developed our own web crawler. So basically it's like, okay, they are seeing all the dashboards from which is like the domain traffic, brand traffic, non-branded traffic, like which are the keywords and URLs that are winning and losing. So in terms of data analysis, it's like super powerful. But then we have an intelligence part. If suddenly one of your top pages for Black Friday gets broken, we send you an immediately alert. If suddenly you lose 20% of the traffic, we tell you exactly which keywords and URLs were the responsibles for that. And finally, in terms of intelligence, we are trying to unify all the data and provide you insights. Like if you would like to have like more traffic and more revenue, what you should do. Like please add an internal link from here to here, or put this keyword in this title, like fix this cannibalization. It's like we are trying to get like all the data and put you like the insight into the next level so as you don't need to spend time on it.
That's very interesting. What differentiates you against all those big players on the market? I think we all know SEMrush and Ahrefs and what else?
Yeah, those are amazing companies. I have like huge respect on them, and personally, like we have used them and used them for some of our analysis. And in this case, I would say we are not even competitors because we are in different areas. And that's a question I always get asked. Ahrefs or SEMrush, for example, they are so focused on keyword research, competitor research, backlink research. However, we don't even do that. We are only focused on your internal data and how you can make the most out of it. So that way, in Ahrefs or SEMrush, for example, if you try to analyze the traffic of our website, like 90% of the times it's wrong because they are working on estimates. However, as we have only real data, we can tell you exactly like 964, and yesterday it was like 930. And that's one of the common questions why some of the companies are using SEOCrawl instead of those tools for data analysis, because they can rely on it and they can like take decisions based on real data. One of, for example, of our top features that is getting like a ton of love and usage is annotations. So right now, like the classical way is, okay, we as a company are making constant changes to the website, titles, headings, new content, whatever. And like the classical way to do it was, okay, I go to Google Analytics, I create an annotation, then I set up an alarm to myself to check the results after 7 days. I go to Analytics Search Console. So it's like super tedious and it's not efficient. In our case, what we did is like, okay, I'm going to add an annotation. I write the changes I made, and automatically after 7 and 14 days, I will receive an email with the results. So the workflow that is created, it's like, okay, I identify an improvement, I change my website, and automatically I know if this is working or not. I repeat the process, and it's like super nice because I know the things I'm doing are adding value to the company or not, are simply like waste of time.
That's really very, very interesting. Yeah. How do you yourself get up to date with the latest trends and strategies in e-commerce marketing and data analysis?
Yeah, in this case, I try to combine like different things. Like I am subscribed to several newsletters, both in Spanish and in English. And then also like when there are like e-commerce meetups or conferences, I also love to see them like even offline or online, because I think that's one of the best things, that when they share like latest best practices, like examples of success story. And I try to combine like online and offline presence.
And are there some practical tips that you can where you can recommend to our listeners? What are actual trends that they should follow for optimizing their content?
Yeah, right now, like ChatGPT and AI are like kind of shaking the world. But in our case, I would say like let's keep like the principles always at the beginning, because those are always like tools that can help us improve and guide our efforts. But at the end, we are, as humans, are the ones that know like probably what will be the best for our users and the content they will love. So just being followed also by the basic principles we have always had, I think it's like a nice advice, or maybe like a useful advice for our community, I hope.
Yeah. And if there are always good things, there are also bad things. And I know that there are a lot of SEO, search engine optimization mistakes that you can make. What are the most common ones? What should I
I would
avoid?
say, yeah, like canonicals. I think they are like nightmares for many e-commerce. Like most of the e-commerce CMS are not optimized for SEO. And I think that's one of probably like the biggest root mistakes, because if CMS would have like SEO teams and SEO help, it would make like all websites that are built with those CMS like great for SEO. But as they contain already like some mistakes or some issues, then these mistakes are replicated into millions of websites around the world. For example, when you are working like with products and filters or with parameters, sometimes, like canonical tag, which tells Google, hey, this is the right page, and it's not like duplicate, it's like the correct one, are not following being properly. Or for example, when handling translations, most of the systems do not add like hreflang tags that tell, hey Google, or search engine bot like Bing or with others. Like this is like the correct English one, and this is like the German alternative. So those are things that if it would be included in the core of the system, that would be like so helpful.
Yeah. How do you balance the need for SEO optimization with other marketing strategies such as paid ad advertising or social media marketing?
Yeah, that's something that when I was like an SEO consultant, like full time, I was always recommending to make a balance. Because, for example, even when I was trying to grow SEOCrawl, I realized that SEO would take time. Right now, we went from 0 to more than 10K organic visits per month, but still, it's not like the solution, because most of the traffic you get, it's like non-really transactional. It's just like informative to build your brand. So you need to focus also on like your branded keywords, because those are what will drive revenue for you. So normally what I was recommending is always set up like a paid strategy at the beginning, and then step by step make sure that the SEO strategy is oriented with your goals. And that's why I think SEOCrawl plays like a key role, because it's not just attracting traffic. It's like making sure that you are getting traffic for the important keyword, the important URLs, and not just like the total, which looks nice and it's done. So segmenting this traffic, tagging it, and making sure like it's right, and then measuring the results, I think it's like the whole cycle that works really great.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Do you have any success stories in mind for e-commerce businesses that have used SEOCrawl to improve their SEO and increase sales?
Yeah, some of them we have NDAs with them, because there are some really large customers right now using SEOCrawl. But for example, one of them, but it's not exactly e-commerce, but it's like more of a SaaS. Like for example, chess.com has been using SEOCrawl since a lot of years, because they are actually, their management team is actually investors in SEOCrawl, and they literally grew like from 1 million to more than 30 million organic visits per month, and they have been able to follow all this path with SEOCrawl. So hopefully soon we'll be able to publish that success story, but I think they are our biggest success story.
Yeah, can we talk about the importance of user experience in e-commerce? How businesses can improve their UX to increase conversions?
I have seen that a lot, and not just like as a marketing professional, but also as a user, that we try to force sometimes like SEO strategies or things that we believe they are nice. Like for example, like the categories or the products in intro with text, and then that puts the product at the bottom. So always I would say that teams need to be like super connected in order to achieve like the revenue, which is like at the end the goal, like sell our products and make sure they are bought. So in this case, I think it has like a critical role, because like 50% of the purchase is made when the user sees the page. So if it's like nice, attractive, and well designed, then it's like, okay, I'm going to spend a few more seconds, because otherwise in less than 10 seconds, like it's gone. And the same happens, for example, with the speed of the website. If it loads slow in mobile or desktop, then it already communicates like a bad image for the brand.
Okay, got it. Yeah. And what about the product page? Is there anything that store owners can do to improve the listings and better optimize it for the search engines?
There are like two things I would say. The first one is like analyze which keywords do you have for that landing page or that page that you can optimize, and there are many things to do, like from on-page optimization, link building, like content suggestions, like whatever. And then we have like the UI side. So for example, once we have like 1,000 customers coming to our website every month and we are selling like 10 units, like we can use Hotjar or any other system so as to analyze like how people is reacting to the page. We can analyze with Google Tag Manager with buttons are they clicking, and if they are converting in a specific stage of the funnel, or are they stopping at the beginning. So there are many things, not just for SEO. And that's why I always think that teams need to be connected, because it's like, okay, I'm getting 1,000 visits from the SEO team and 1,000 for the ads team. And now what happens? So there needs to be like the content team, the product team, analytics team, and then try to make the user at the end of the funnel and make the purchase. But those are things that have been so helpful for me, and hopefully for the community also.
Yeah. As the tool is something that works with the data that I have, yeah. So with my data, with my website, do you need to have it in the cookie allowance, in the cookie banner, or to get the data, or is it actually something that you own and store yourself, and where you don't need an allowance to track this?
Very good question, because we are so obsessed about privacy and doing things the right way. And in our case, what we do is like we connect directly, and you make the connection. So you are the one that connects Search Console Analytics. We just connect the API, and then every day the data flows into our service. We act the same way as like a bank. It's everything completely private and encrypted, and you and your team are the only one that have access to that data. And then in case you erase it, it's everything erased. We don't create like a shared database of data. We don't share with third parties or anything. And for me and for our team, this was like our most important principle, because there are really big companies relying all their data into us. And we wanted to make sure that everything is like super secure and super safe.
Yeah, I think this is a very important topic, especially in Europe, where we have the GDPR, and it's just something that every European company looks at, actually. Yeah.
In the end, the only thing we are doing is like store your data safely and put it in a way that is helpful for you, and you are the one that controls everything about it. So we don't do anything, and we're just like the tool to help you analyze it. So I really appreciate you asking, because we get this question a lot, and always it's transferred. And even for really big companies, we even sign like NDAs and data privacy documents. So we are so committed to that.
That's cool. Now you said as you it's with the own data. Yeah. What is if I want to look into some competitor data? So to analyze the SEO efforts of the competitors, how do I rank against them?
That's a feature that we are developing that we don't have yet. And right now we can have like half of the analysis. Right now I can tell you everything about their health, like which pages they have, which is their health of any of their pages, if they are doing something great that we are not. We can also compare ourselves with them. But in terms of like data, traffic, that's something that we don't have. And some of the tools we were mentioning before are super nice on that. So we prefer to focus on internal data analysis, so trying to compete with companies that have been doing that for years, and it will be very difficult to create something like better than them.
Yeah, that's for sure a hard job. But every day new businesses get founded, and maybe there might be a better one than the ones we have, but they are really great. Yeah, I need to agree. Yeah. Tell me a bit about your company yourself. So are you using a lot of automations in your company to make the business more, let's say, more affordable, more easy to manage?
I try, and it's not always possible because one of the things I always try is to make like a personal approach. So, for example, when I'm doing like demos or answering support, like it's something that I try to really understand like the use case of that person. And then if that person has an issue that could be replicated, then I try to automate the solution. But in my case, I try to make like half-half. So half automation and always try to give this personal human touch. So I would say like we make a mix.
Yeah. And how important is automation for you? Does it play a big role, or in general for businesses? What would you say?
I would say it's critical, especially when it comes to like many areas, like for example, like sales, invoicing. So once we have like the proper workflow setup, it's like everything goes smoothly. But then if you try to always make something manual and then scale, it's like you feel the pressure and it's like not growing. So once something starts to be repeating and growing, it's like always I try to automate that.
Yeah, yeah. Automation is some key to really save time, actually. And when we talk about automation, I mean, we need to talk about GTI. Tell me a bit about your opinion. What do you think will be in the in the future? How will it affect search engine optimization?
It's like a really good question, and the truth is that I don't know exactly, and I have been personally like a bit away from it because it's like so many things happening that and at the same time we need to like run and operate our business and grow. So I have been trying to like focus on that and then let ChatGPT and others like stabilize, be documented well and everything, and then like I will analyze because like every day we see like new things happening, and in our case. I mean, there are like several SEOs like worried about the future of SEO for ChatGPT, but at the end, like even Google like will launch their own things and everything, and SEO will always be like a thing because I really doubt that ChatGPT or other solutions will like replace like what we see right now, and at the end they will be just an alternative to find things in a really great way, the same way that Wikipedia, for example, is working. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We will see.
We will see. Yeah. Do you already have clients that are using it for creating some content for their websites or web shops?
Yeah. Several of them and tutorials and things. Even like I saw like one partner that was using like to build even website that ChatGPT was coding them. So I have seen some really cool things, I must say, but not sure what will be the next chapter for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yesterday I used it to create a small functions PHP script for WordPress, where I just asked for that script and it worked really like charm. So very interesting. But we will see what the future brings. Yeah. David, last question for today. Who has told you the most about e-commerce and SEO in your career?
Like the person I have learned the most?
Person, book, Google.
Wow. I think we'll need to add that to like the post interview because I'm not sure. I mean, I think it has been like a combination of many small pieces that have created like a puzzle. So it's like e-commerce conferences, like some people that I really admire that have taught me like a lot. Personal experience and personal trying, I think it's also key. So I would say like puzzle of things.
A puzzle of things, yeah. I mean, you have a really long career now, long in the business, and you learned a lot step by step, and that's really cool. I really liked the interview. Thank you so much for your time, David. I mean, having a tool that gives you the possibility to analyze the data that you have in a great dashboard that gives you a lot of insights and real-time data in portions that you can understand is a very important thing for every kind of business, especially also for e-commerce store owners that are doing a lot of other things or need to do a lot of other things. And and quickly need to browse about possible solutions, possible impacts, and possible ways to improve the sales.
You mentioned,
I think, yeah, sorry, David, please.
You mentioned something that for me it's key. It's like when I was working with e-commerce sites, I hope I would have had like SEOCrawl, because it would have saved me like tons of hours and time and have better results. So I think one of the key, if you allow me to say, to the success of SEOCrawl is like it's built from the pain. And thanks to that, like many people are now using it, because it's like if I would have had a team working with me, they would have had SEOCrawl and all the features. So it's like really making a key difference in many companies.
Yeah, absolutely cool. Thank you so much. It was really great talking to you. And guys, check out SEOCrawl. You will find the link in the blog post, and of course you can Google it. You will find it. It's a SEO tool, so perfect. And yeah, don't forget, if you like this episode, to subscribe for our podcast and maybe write a review. Just come back. See you soon. Bye-bye.
And that's it for this episode of the eCom Ops Podcast. If you enjoyed listening and would like us to find and interview more e-commerce operations experts, please search for eCom Ops Podcast in your favorite podcast listening app, and then subscribe, rate, and review. Until next time.